How are we doing, guys? It's Leeds United 3, Tottenham Hotspur 1. What a win, guys. What a win. And it is player ratings time. We are back again with the player ratings. Absolutely immense 3 points for the lads. Unexpected, to be honest. Before the game, myself and Joe, we had some shocking takes on the starting 11. It was absolutely spot on from my man, Marcelo Bielsa. Guys, smash that like button for us and the subscribe button if you haven't done already. Your support has been fantastic. We love you guys. We love this team. We just love life. So, guys, we're going to go through the player ratings. Now, any Don level members, I have left this one open. If you want to join, we're probably going to get a rating off you each. So I'm going to go to Ethan, first of all. Ethan is there. He's looking good. How are you, Ethan? Are you looking happy, mate?
Yeah.
So we're going to start with Ilan Meslier. What number were you thinking on Meslier, mate?
He was good to go. I give you an 8.
An 8. I'm going to agree with that. I think he was absolutely superb. Guys, in the comments, what are you thinking on Ilan Meslier today? And if you haven't done already, vote on that poll. Vote on that member poll. What are you thinking on Ilan Meslier today? Solid 9. Joe's gone there. I could actually go 9, to be honest. But I'm going to go 8. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Ethan, what a save it was at 2-1 from... I think it's from Son. They're from 2-1 up. I think it was Son, if someone wants to correct me in the comments. But what a save, mate. Crucial save, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, is he France? Should he be France's number 1 for you, mate?
Yeah.
Love that.
No
Didier Deschamps hasn't got a clue. He's picking Hugo Lloris over Meslier. There you go, man. If you're watching that game, Didier Deschamps, get Meslier in that team. Well, actually, don't, because I don't want to put him in the shop window.
Yeah,
he's staying at Leeds forever. That's it, exactly, mate.
We're going to need Kigo in there again. We're going to need Kigo.
Oh, no. That's, the difference is massive, isn't it? Yeah, it's... he's immense. Some very high ratings for Ilan Meslier here. He was just superb. Yeah, when he had to step up, he did do underneath, and it's just... I can't remember the last time he made a mistake, mate, in terms of Meslier. It was Arsenal, wasn't it? Arsenal, that game. Last time he made a mistake, and he's bounced back from that just so well. Immense keeper, immense. Best we've had since Martin for me. Since Martin. I don't think there's any doubt about that. A lot of 9s coming in. I'd love to see that. Both keepers had a great game, but our keeper's better. Our keeper's the number 1. We all know it, don't we, Ethan? He's the number 1. Francis, number 1. Francis, number 1. Francis, number 1. But let's go to the YouTube poll. Which is, bear with me, just going to refresh the screen. Okay, so you guys have given Ilan Meslier. Have you been generous? In Ilan Meslier? You have. 60% have gone 9. Me and Ethan have gone 8. We'll stick with the 8. You might have a go with us, guys, but we'll stick with the 8. We're going to overrule because we've both gone 8. We'll stick with the 8 for now, but I could easily go a 9. I could go a 10. To be honest, I could go for 10 for the whole team. I think we might even should even just do that. Say 10 for the whole team. See you later, guys. We'll see you. No, we're messing. We'll go an 8. We'll go a solid 8 out of 10. Ethan, just give you one more, mate, before we let Rob in. We'll talk about not Alioski, Luke Ayling today. I thought he did a superb job on Hueng-Min. What are you saying for Luke Ayling, mate? Out of 10, 7 out of 10. Yeah, I'd go higher, mate. I thought he was immense. To be honest, Ayling. I could go an 8. I could go an 8. Get some ratings in, guys, for Luke Ayling. Let's hear it. Let's hear some ratings for Luke Ayling. Oh, back of the net. There's no filler.
No fill here today.
No half marks here. 78 out of 10 for Ayling. I love that. I know it meant 7 or 8, but yeah, I could go up for everyone. 78 out of 10. 7. Yeah, a couple of. I could go higher. I could seriously go higher. I thought Luke Ayling today. The fact you'd hardly noticed him summed it all up for me. Son, he got the goal, but it was on the other side of the pitch. He made that run in behind Alioski. He was just superb today, Luke Ayling. Didn't have to do a lot of attacking, but he didn't have to. He was absolutely brilliant. I could easily go an 8. On Ayling. And so I've gone 8. Ethan's gone 7. The majority on YouTube have gone 78% have gone 8 out of 10. So that's 2 8s. That's 2 8s to start us off with. What a start this is. Ethan, thanks so much for coming on again, mate. We're going to For everyone that's coming on, we're going to do about 2 or 3 players each, and then obviously jump on, jump off. So guys, please keep joining. We will get you in as quickly as we can. Ethan, absolute pleasure as always, man. I'm sure we'll see you next week when we beat Burnley, and we're on that march. Can we do the European Conference, mate? Are we doing it?
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. Love that.
Koi.
It's coming. It's coming. Joe Wayman. How negative is Joe Wayman saying it's over? It's not over. We're winning the next 3 games. We're going to break the points record for a newly promoted team. We're doing it, aren't we, mate? We're doing it. Yeah. Yes. Love that. Love that. But Ethan, absolute pleasure as always, man. I'm going to let you go now. Thanks so much for coming on again, man. See you later, mate. And then we're just going to let Rob in. So, Rob, we're going to talk about the centre-backs now, man. Absolute pleasure to have you on board again, man. What were your thoughts on the centre-backs? I mean, obviously, start with Llorente first. Guys, get some ratings in for Llorente. I thought, did Harry Kane have a kick?
Only for free kicks.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't notice Harry Kane in the game today, and he's one of the best strikers in the world.
I think Kane came. I think actually Kane had less of an impact in the second half than he did the first.
Yeah.
So I think both of them were immense today. To be honest with you, I think Llorente, he's not only he reads the game very well, very very well, and he plays the man to man very well. He's very very close to his player. His player doesn't get away, doesn't have a minute away. But neither does Struijk. Everything that came anywhere near him, he was first to the ball or he was challenging very quickly. So I mean, Llorente, you could give him a 9, really. I think I went 8 on the poll actually, to be honest. But you could.
I'm going to go 8. I think an 8. I thought he was. Yeah. I thought he was. Especially first off, I thought he was absolutely unreal against Kane. He didn't give him. He loves it though, doesn't he, Rente? I think you were saying then, Rob, on the man-to-man marking, he seems to thrive it. He thinks, I'm up against the very best in the world today. I don't care. I'm going to show him. He did it against Rashford, earlier a couple of weeks ago. He did it against Mane and Firmino and Sterling. He loves it. I think he loloves it, like the challenge.
Even in the first half, I think it was a couple of occasions. I remember once at least he's flicking the ball around the back of him and leaving the striker for dead and playing it across the box. He loves the challenge. That's what it is. He loves that challenge of defender and striker, and that's what he thrives on. So, to have a defender like that, or to have 2 defenders like that, is completely the opposite to what Spurs had. To be honest,
Warriors, aren't they? Compared to Dyer and Alderweireld, these so-called international footballers who have been at Tottenham for years. We showed them up today. They're big time. So what are you going by? You going 9 or 8?
I'll go 8.
Okay. I'm going to go with 8 as well. There's been a lot of high marks coming, a lot of love for Diego Llorente, which is always lovely to see. I love that, guys. So, 70% have gone 8. So that's 3 8s to start off with. What a great start that is. Pascal, I thought Pascal was as good as Diego, to be honest. I thought he stuck to his job. Maybe he had to do a little bit less man marking, but at times he had to really put in some crucial challenges. And he's just getting better by the game as well for me.
Yeah. He's had a couple of difficult matches, I thought. I thought the Brighton game, he was a bit... He had we've already spoke about that. Nobody had a good game against Brighton. But he's come in and out of games a little bit. He's had times where I felt he's been against United. Well, against Scum, we had a couple of occasions where I thought he got lost a little bit. He didn't quite know where he should have been. But today he was where he needed to be every single time. A few occasions in the second half when they were breaking down the right hand side and he comes across and clears the ball, takes the man with him. He doesn't mess about, and when you're playing against players like they've got up front, that's exactly what you want. You're not going to, the best thing to do is take the ball away from him and get rid of it if you don't want him to be effective. And he had a very, very strong game again. Didn't need to have much in the air, I didn't think, today. We didn't have much. There was nothing really coming in from Spurs into the box in the air that he had to deal with. It all seemed to be in front of us, which is good for a defender. And they were able to control and work with it. So You could, if you're going to give 8 to Llorente, you have to give 8 to Struijk as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so. I think on that basis, to be honest, I think one stood out at times more than the other, and then the other one covered them. It just works. It just works, that partnership for me. I think Llorente's a bit more aggressive, Struijk a little bit more controlled, a bit more of a typical Dutch centre back for me. Elegant on the ball. Left-footed as well. I always love a left-footed centre-back who's good with his... You don't see many of them. You don't see many good left-footed centre-backs, and it balances itself out well.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a good balance there at the back. We haven't got people trying to cross over to the right or turn to the right to clear a ball, or and obviously with having Cooper in that position as well, we've got 2 left-footers for the left
reliable
side.
Left-footers.
Which means we don't have to unbalance the side necessarily when we're swapping things around. But they're very mobile. They're mobile defenders. They can get around the pitch. They got a bit of pace to them, etc., etc. So, I think the future is definitely bright as regards the centre backs. If you think about what less than 12 months ago when we hadn't got 2 to put together, we're doing all right now.
No, exactly. I mean, that's been the big bonus for me this season. We've actually started the season with conceding goals. But an interesting one thing I want to ask you about, Rob, is obviously it looks like next week Cooper will be back available. Obviously, Cooper is still the current club captain. What do you think will happen? Like, I'll ask you 2 questions. Do you think Pascal should keep his spot in that left-sided centre-back role, or do you think Cooper deserves to come back in? And what do you think Bielsa will do? So 2 questions, if you like.
I think Struijk should keep his place, to be honest.
I agree.
And I don't think Bielsa will change it, to be honest. Not at this point in the season. We're 3 games to go. We know he's loyal. We know he's loyal to the team, to the players that are there. We spoke about that in the post-match, about the fact he put the same team out today to prove to themselves and to prove to him and to everybody else that they're good enough to do that. And I don't think we've had enough. We've had a lot of unbalancing and swapping and changing all season. And we've struggled because of that. Ayling having to play centre back, and Struijk coming in for a couple of games, and then we lost Koch for ages. So it's been we've had a settled back 4, and especially the centre backs for a few games now. I don't see him changing. I don't think he has to. If you look at the performance they put up against Son and Kane, we're looking at the front 4 that they play. Bale, I can't remember. I can't hardly remember mentioning him.
The only time I can remember Bale is when he was tapping Roberts on the shoulder when Roberts took that shot that went scuffed wide. That's the only time I actually saw Bale in the game. It's mad. It's mad though. And you're thinking he scored a hat-trick last week, and he's actually not had a kick in this game.
No, but I can't see there would be any need to change it, to be honest. I think he'll stay as he is. With Cooper's on suspension, but they said he had a bit of a knock today, so it might be he'll stay with this now to the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it shows that defensive record since the second half of the season. Once we got it settled, it's been so much better. But I'll just go to the YouTube poll. I think obviously we've both gone 8 on Pascal.
Yeah,
a lot of 8s come in. 70% have gone 8. So that's 4 8s to start off with. Rob, I mean, if you're happy to stay on, mate, we've got. I'm going to let Ethan back in, so it looks like it's us 3. If you're happy to stay in, mate,
that's fine.
We'll keep cracking on. Unless anyone else wants to join. There is the option to join, guys. Check out the YouTube community page. If you are a Don level member, you can join this one. Let's talk about Gianni then. I mean, Ethan, what were you thinking numbers wise on Gianni Alioski?
He was good today. I gave it 8.
8. I'm going to go 8 as well. I'd have gone 9. Because he was so good going forward. Just on the goal, I thought on the goal, he switched off for half a second at most. And unfortunately, a player like Son, he scores them kind of situations. But other than that, he was probably one of his best games in a Leeds shirt for me.
Yeah. Alioski, he's just a Marmite footballer, isn't he? And I haven't known a player for ages who played for us to split people so much. You either love him or you don't want him anywhere near the team. Yeah. It's as simple as that. There is only 2 options. but I thought he played very, very well today. Yeah, he does have that week. He goes to ground quite a bit at the back sometimes. He's quite ready to go on. To go on the floor, and it makes things easier for the striker or for the attacker to go around him. And you could pick fault with him for the goal. He perhaps was sleeping a little bit, but going forward, he set up Bamford's goal. The energy he put into the game from being at the, left hand side of the box, and then he was back at left back, and then he was in the middle of the park, then he was. Yeah, I would happily give him an 8 for today.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So that's 3 8s from us. We'll just go to the YouTube poll because it's normally quite negative on Alioski. It's normally quite negative on Alioski. It is though, isn't it, Ethan? It's always a bit lower than what we think, but it's actually higher today, which sums up how well Alioski played. 60% have gone 9, so 6 out of 10 have gone 9. But I'm thinking because you look at with the fact 3 of us have gone 8, I think we'll still stick with the 8 on John Alioski. But he was absolutely superb. So that's the whole back 5 getting 8 out of 10. I think that's the first time this season where it's been that rock solid. But anyway, before I let Steve in, I'll Ethan, talk to me about this man. Talk to me about this man who was in the heart of the defence. How good was he? What are you giving him out of 10, mate?
He will go good today. An 8, going 8.
Going 8? I'm going to go 9. I thought he was the way he responded from that Brighton game. He gave the ball away.
Today. He could go.
He created the third goal, didn't he, mate? It all started with that initial pass. I mean, Rob, what were your kind of feelings on Robin Koch today in that Calvin role? Is he ready now to be the deputy to Calvin whenever Calvin gets injured or suspended, would you say? Or was it too early from one game to say that? Am I being too emotional?
I don't think so, because did we notice Phillips wasn't playing? How many times did we go? Exactly. How many times did we go? Oh, if Phillips was playing, such and such wouldn't have happened. It didn't really happen today, did it? Where in games before, when Phillips isn't playing, you notice it, and it gets commented on. There's nobody there. There's no backup. There's no, nobody's breaking up the play. Nobody's spreading the play. It's exactly what he did, and to a point, he was probably one of the players against Brighton that did do that occasionally. He was trying to do that a little bit again, not to as effective today, but he was doing that a little bit. And I think he fits that role quite well. He fits that role very well. And I think, the performance that Phillips has been putting in this season, it's a difficult task to put somebody in there to do the same job.
Yeah.
But he did it. I think he did it more than adequately today, to be honest, more than adequately.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if Calvin had played like Robin Koch did today, I think it would be, we would have been, we'd have been saying the same kind of things to Gareth Southgate, like what more does he have to do to be starting for England? But I think the fact Koch's played there for Germany, in the Bundesliga for Freiburg, and he's done it a couple of times for us now. I thought he looked like he played that role all his life, to be fair, today. I mean, he wasn't bothered by Ali. He wasn't bothered by runners in behind him all the time. He just kept his head. I think the fact is today, which sums up how composed Robin Koch is and how street smart he is, was when Son burst through on the counter and he just took him out. He knew he couldn't get there. He was on the halfway line. If he let Son go any further, it's going to be big trouble. But he took him out, took a yellow card. His first yellow card for Leeds, by the way, which is pretty impressive for a centre-back in this team. He's just so calm and composed. And I've seen actually a couple of shouts for this in terms of Robin Koch, because he's got that aura about him for me in terms of how big he is and, with a future captain. I mean, Ethan, future captain, Robin Koch, would you say?
No, okay.
Is that, no? No? Yeah, I love that. Love that. I mean, what are you thinking, Rob?
Yeah, I think obviously we did see him at the start of the season, but it was a bit. Everybody was quite new back in the Premier League games. We were playing with everybody's playing with a lot of emotion. I think it's probably now when things have settled down and we're in the second half of the season that you can kind of start to look at players and see how they're still performing. And since he's come back, he's kind of just got better and better, to be honest with you. I agree with you. He's very relaxed on the ball, as a lot of our players are. They're not rushed. They're not panicking. And for the position he's playing, that's exactly what you want. You need him to take the ball. You need him to use it wisely. If that's going backwards, go backwards. If it's going forwards, it's going forwards. If you have to beat your man, beat your man. You've got to make that decision. You haven't got long to do it. Where they're playing. So I do think it's a good shout, to be honest with you, for a captain's role, especially as he can play the centre back role as well. He's always going to have the game in front of him to that point, which is, they always say, is where a captain should really be, with the game in front of them. But yeah, it's not a bad shout at all, that, I don't think.
I think there's a case for it. I think there definitely is a case for it. So numbers wise, so I've gone 9, Ethan's gone 8. What do you go for, Rob? I
could probably go a 9 on that.
Love that. Well, let's go to the YouTube poll. Well, 75% have gone 9 out of 10. So that's a pretty conclusive 9 on 10 for Robin Koch. Probably his highest mark, or one of his highest marks this season. I think off the top of my head, I think the City home game was the last time Koch got higher. But let's not forget, he's come on against City a couple of weeks ago, marks Bernardo Silva out of the game. He was starting to cause trouble in front of Calvin. Put Koch on him man-to-man. He did a superb job. A couple of weeks ago was against Manchester United. He came on, marks Pogba out the game. Last week went wrong. Today, again, he ticks the boxes throughout today. So he's showing really a decent consistency in that position now, in terms of he's not played many minutes in there, but it doesn't matter. He can just settle himself into the game really quickly. Great option to have. It's something we've not had all season, really. But it's a fantastic option. I think when we get these players coming back from injury, it's a big boost to us. It's a big boost. And to be honest, in terms of the transfer budget, I think the worry's a lot less. I think if you're Victor Orta before kind of like the international break, he's thinking, if Calvin gets injured, we're probably going to need to spend about 20 million or 15, 20 million on a backup holding midfielder. I think it massively frees up our budget, having 4 centre-backs, of which one of them can play elsewhere. It's a great option to have. Even if one of them gets injured, suspended, fantastic stuff to see. But Ethan, thanks so much for jumping back on, mate. I've kept Steve there waiting for quite a while from Rhode Island. But Ethan, absolute legend, mate. Absolute legend for jumping back on, man. We will see you later, mate.
Okay.
Cheers, man. And we're going to welcome back in Steve, who a lot of love for Steve in the post-match when he jumped on. Absolute legend of a man is Steve. And we are going to sort him out of his shirt as well. That is an all East TV promise. Steve, I'm going to talk to you about Stuart Dallas, who played in the same position he did against Brighton. He went to right wing. He gets himself an 8th goal of the season, the most he's ever scored in England in his career in a season. How good was he today?
Beautiful.
He is beautiful, isn't he? He's a beautiful player and a beautiful man, Stuart Dallas. I can't deny it.
Mate, I can't complain about any guy that turned up on that pitch today. I can't complain about them, mate. They give 100% every single one of them, and mate, I can't believe that we battered them. Like I said to you before, I wasn't even going to set my alarm clock because I thought we were going to get terrorised by Tottenham, but the boys went out there, did a beautiful job. I think that, mate, every single player on that pitch deserves praise.
Yeah, they do. Not one player let us down today. It was a team performance. I mean, I feel bad singling out Koch and Klichy because they all did the part. I mean, Rob, what were your thoughts on Dallas? I mean, were you surprised to see him out there? In terms of not playing, because he was always going to play, but on the wing again, were you a bit surprised by that after what happened last week?
A little bit, because that's probably the poorest game I've seen Dallas play for us for a long time.
Yeah,
you thought so?
Against Brighton, would you not say, Steve?
Who played good against Brighton?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Meslier did. Meslier kept us in it for a bit.
But I think from Dallas's point of view, if you remember back to Championship days, that's where we used to watch Dallas and go, why is he playing and why is he being picked? Because he was completely ineffective. Now you've seen him go playing back on that wing again, and he's anything but ineffective today. Again, his performance is always up there. I did watch some of the post match with him, and he talked about the game, and he was highlighting the fact you shouldn't need motivating to play for this football club, and that's kind of the man. That kind of epitomizes what he's about and what he does and why he turns up week in, week out. And I'm not saying he's trying any less now than he was back in the Championship, but I think because of the way that he's been coached and the way that he believes in what he does now, he fits better and it works. And we're seeing Stuart Dallas for what he actually is.
Absolutely. I mean, the funny thing is now, it's obviously we're seeing Klich as kind of throwing like a spanner in the works in terms of trying to team selection, because he's done so well today. Obviously Alioski's been a lot better at left back second part of the season. I mean, what do you think then, Dallas, is long-term position, or do you think he'll just continue to be a utility man? I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Steve? I mean, where do you think he's best out of all, like left back, centre mid, wing? Where would you most like to see in Dallas?
I think he plays best in any position that Bielsa wants to put him in. To be honest, I'd like, he's just a perfect professional that sort of like can play any position. So wherever Bielsa puts him is where he's meant to be.
I mean, the movement for the goal was just perfect. I mean, he's got that killer instinct about him now, Dallas. He wants to score now. He wants to contribute in the other box, and he's done that this season. He's won us so many games, hasn't he?
Yeah. And hey, I got a bone to pick with you, by the way. I think I brought it up earlier, but
go on then, man. Go on.
No, because we like our stream was like about 1.5, 2 minutes ahead of yours, and you were slagging off Alioski.
I gave it an 8. I gave it an 8 out of 10. To be fair, give me some credit.
Yeah, but you were slagging off Alioski just as he sort of like I'm listening to you slagging off Alioski when I'm watching it on the television in Rhode Island, and just slotted that ball in perfectly. And what the F is Oscar talking about, man?
It worked. It fired him up. After I was criticising him. It fired him up a bit. I'll take credit for it.
Rob, I love that top. I can remember when I got that top for my birthday. First came out when I was a kid.
It's very
lovely.
nice.
It's lovely. It's
Good
lovely.
top,
I love that top.
What year was that, Rob? Sorry if you don't mind me asking.
73-4, I think. This one, isn't it? Something like that. Somewhere around there.
I think it's mid-70s. Mid-70s around that time.
I was 6 and I had the away shirt as well, which was yellow.
Love that. I love that yellow. I love Leeds in a yellow away shirt. I don't know what it is about it, but it just looks perfect. But let's go on to Dallas. I've gone 8. What are you going for, Steve? Out of 10?
8.
8, okay. And Rob?
Yeah, I'd go with an 8.
Okay. Well, the poll agrees with us. 50% have gone 8, so we'll give another 8 to Stewie Dallas. Let's talk about Mateusz Klich. Now, I want to have a little talk about Mateusz Klich, because my word, some of the comments that have come in the last couple of weeks about Mateusz Klich, I mean, some of the stuff I've seen on Twitter, social media, are we forgetting this is the man for 2.5 seasons who's been just tucked to the Bielsa style of football, probably as much as Calvin has, as much as anyone has. He's been the figure of consistency, the amount of goals he's scored, the amount of assists he's got, the way he controls games, the work off the ball, the pressing, everything he brings to this team. He's had a couple of months of bad form. Yes, he'll admit it himself. Bielsa's took him out of the team. He's had a tough time coming off the bench. But some of the comments I've seen in recent weeks, on Twitter, everything saying he needs to go. Klich needs to go. Now, I'm not saying one game should change all perceptions, but it was a massive overreaction anyway. We've got to give these players, considering the fact he's played out 160 games, almost 160 games consecutively before his poor run of form. I mean, Steve, I can't tell you how happy I am for Klich that he's produced what he did today in such a big game. He's been given his opportunity and he's took it with both hands today. I love the man. I absolutely love the man.
He's playing hurt though, isn't he? What game was it, Oscar? When he taken off he got taken off early and sort of like he was hurt badly. I mean, like to recover from that kind of injury is just like,
I think he's still recovering. I think you saw the intensity he played about today. I think today was his first game where he was fully fit. You just saw the big difference in the way he was running around. He was getting on the ball more. I seriously think he has been injured for so long, and we've not been able to rest him because we've got no other options. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, for a while, he was the only. We didn't have the options. We didn't have the options to play. Rodrigo's out injured, illness, etc., etc. We didn't have the depth of thing to bring. Hernandez was injured as well. He's been in and out with. So it's not as if we had a list of people we could change him. And this was the point at the time. And even if you put somebody in there to replace Klich, who do you replace them with?
Yeah, exactly.
It was the balance of the team. It wasn't, it's the same with Stewart playing at CDM. We haven't got Phillips. If Cox injured, who else are we going to put there? Who's not going to unbalance the team somewhere else? So Bielsa was making decisions, and it was percentages. So it's what's the best outcome we can get. It might not be the ideal one, but it's the best one we can go with. And I think he was injured for a while. He got injured on the pitch, didn't he? After we just had it relayed, he slips and turned his hip, and but he's still back next game. He's still playing. He's still coming on, but he's not playing fully fit. And I think a lot of what was going on, he knows he's not playing as well as he should do. I think we mentioned it before. Then he starts trying too hard. He's trying to force the game. He's trying to force what he's doing, and it doesn't work. And so it just gets worse. And I think actually, Bielsa being able to take him out the team for a few weeks, have him on the bench and bring him on, has probably helped the situation. Because when he has come on, a couple of games when he has come on, we've commented, you've all commented on here about actually he did quite well. He was only on 15 minutes, but he had a good 15 minutes. Yeah. A good 15, 20 minutes, he was being effective. And now he's come on as a start today and playing like we used to see him play, everywhere, picking up everything. And just Tottenham had no answer to our midfield at all today. The midfield just ran the game.
From the first minute, I mean, we were on top. When we scored, I didn't think we were lucky to be one up. I mean, I don't think there's a player in this team, when he clicks on it in terms of passing the ball, controlling the game, just dominating that midfield. I honestly think obviously Calvin plays a bit deeper, but in terms of playing higher up the pitch and getting their forwards into the game, getting the ball through midfield, I think Klich is still the best at doing that for me. And to see him, I honestly think now, Rob and Steve, that the level he's produced today, it won't drop now. I think he's back on it. I think whatever needed to be done in terms of his fitness and that lot, I think Bielsa's managed it to perfection. I can't see. Look, he's not going to play like that well every single week. No one can. No one can play like as well as he did today. Because I thought he was man of the match, but I seriously think now that Klich is back. If that's the right word for it, I think that might even be an exaggeration, but it feels like he is back to what he was. I think the way he played today.
Yeah, I think he's given himself a chance now. He's given himself a chance to show us what we've been missing, and we have been missing it. Yeah. We have been missing it in games. So if he plays for the next 3 games, is for us to be able to sit at the end of the season and go, actually, he has found it. Whatever was missing, he's got it sorted out.
Well, I'm going to go. Sorry, Steve.
No, I was going to say 3 games is a small window, so sort of like for him to sort of like be able to prove himself over 3 games, and then what? And then you come back at the start of the next season. Oh, hopefully he sort of like gets through these 3 games, like does a decent job, and then comes back at the start of the next season, and then like plays like he did then.
I
think he will, though. I really do think he will, mate.
I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. I love every player in this team, mate. I just want them to like keep on like doing their job and improve.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go 9 out of 10 for Klich. I could possibly. I mean, he was unlucky on the score as well. Some of the saves off Reece were incredible, and that one he missed the post by about that. I thought it was in. I thought it was in all the way, but just wide. But I'm going to go 9. I could possibly even go higher, but I'm going to go 9. What are you saying, Steve? Out of 10?
8.
Okay. Rob?
No, I give him a 9, strong 9.
Yeah, I personally thought he was man of the match. I think Steve, you already said Alioski, which is, mate, I'm not going to complain about that at all. Rob, what are you saying man of the match?
I had a toss up on the last one between Klichy and Koch. So, I would say based on what we're saying, we would go with, I think, Klichy mainly because of what he's been through and the fact that he's come back to this game and he's shown up and done what he's done today.
I love this off John B. I love this. He's back. Believe it. You better believe it. No, I love that. But let's talk about his midfield partner, obviously Tyler Roberts, who's probably, I still thought was good today. I don't think anyone was average or bad. He did give the ball away a couple of times. I think Bielsa, for me, timed the substitution to perfection. I thought first half he was really good, Tyler. Maybe got a little bit sloppy before he came off, but I still felt he contributed. I'm going to go with solid 7. I mean, Steve, what was your feeling on Tyler today?
Mate, I thought he did a great job. And the only reason I had bad thoughts about Tyler is what you guys were talking about last week, and like saying that if he's with the Leeds United club next year, then we've done something drastically wrong.
That was Joe. To be fair, he said that.
No, that was Phil.
Oh, Phil. Ignore Phil. You've got to ignore Phil from time to time, Steve.
How can you ignore Phil? But no, I thought he did great, and I thought he did a great job at sort of like all the games he played previously. So I mean, like, I thought he did a beautiful job today from what's required of him, mate. I'll give him a solid 7.
Love that. What are you saying, Rob, in terms of Tyler?
I think when they went off, they said they were ice packing his leg or something. So whether or not the second half he was carrying an injury a little bit because he wasn't as effective in the second half. And you say if he's he can be quite infuriating because on the ball, as with the ball at his feet, I watched him in the Championship live there at Ellen Road. His ability with the ball, he's probably one of the best ball players we have in the team. His actual natural footballing ability is very good. Is his decision making where it should be? I don't know. My youngest son gets very frustrated with everybody on Twitter because they're always slagging him about this. Yeah. And actually, when you look at him as a footballer, he's a decent footballer. What is he, 22? Coming on 22 now?
Yeah, he's a kid. He's a kid.
This thing, like Calvin at the same age was still playing in the Championship was in mid-table, and he just it was like a switch. And I think the same thing's going to happen to Calvin. Like as what happens to Calvin, I think Tyler's going to absolutely explode onto the scene for us. In the next season, possibly, wherever it is, it's coming. I feel it's coming.
Bielsa sees past what we see. This is the thing because he sees them in training. He sees them every day. We don't get that luxury. And that's why he's managing a football team, and that's why he's doing what he's doing. Because he must have seen something in Philip that he knew he could work with. We let Vieira go. We kept Philip.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
At the time, we were probably also going, well, why have we let Vieira go? In all fairness, we probably wanted to keep him,
Yeah. Anyone who doesn't say that, I think, is telling a bit of a porcupine, aren't they? In terms of that.
So I think from that point of view, he's going to be one of these players that maybe it's just going to take him a bit longer to be able to show what he can properly do, and what he might just develop a little bit later on that score. But there's got to be something there, otherwise he wouldn't keep using him. He wouldn't be there. We know that. If he was no use to the side, he'd be gone. So you've got to look at it from the positive. I think if he can carry on doing what he's doing, and that footballing ability won't leave him, and I think he could be one hell of a player for us.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I just feel that, I think he's our most underrated player. You're all right, Steve. You're right. Okay.
No, Palace just scored me.
Have they? No worries, man. No worries. But I honestly think Tyler is our most underrated player in terms of the criticism he gets compared to everyone else. I think he deserves a bit more praise, to be honest, and lovely to see him contribute to the win. So we've all gone 7. We've all gone 7 out of 10. YouTube, Yeah, 60% have gone 7. So a 7 for Tyler Roberts. Probably lowest mark out of all the players, but by no means a bad game. They all contribute. Now, Jack Harrison's another one in recent weeks who's had criticism. I thought against Brighton, his delivery was absolutely shocking against Brighton in terms of the amount of times he overhit over Bamford's head. But today, Aurier had no idea what to do against Harrison. A couple of times, maybe second half, he's a bit frustrating with his final ball. But this was a top performance of Harrison. Big part in the first goal, big part in the third goal. I'm going to go a solid 8 out of 10 for Jackie boy today. What are you thinking, Rob, on Jack Harrison today?
Yeah, I think he was much better today. Much better today. He struggled for a few games. Obviously didn't play against City. But hasn't really come back hitting the ground running on any of the games after that, really. For me, he's been a bit where we've had that before and before. He made all the effort to get there. He puts all the effort in the running, the chasing, the getting the ball back, and then the final delivery or the final pass is not what we need. It's over the heads or it's along the ground and it's cleared, and it can be quite frustrating. But I thought today, he had him on strings. To be honest with you, he was confident today that he knew he had the beating of the man, and that makes a big difference. And he knew he could put the balls across, and he delivered. So yeah, I would go an 8 today for Harrison. Much improved on the last few weeks. Yeah,
probably his best game the last few weeks, to be honest. I think. Steve, what are you saying on Jack Harrison today? He was a bit good, wasn't he?
Mate, I love him as a player anyway. I mean, he's a fantastic player, but he definitely sort of like he definitely did a good job today. Same as you guys. He was just, I wouldn't say phenomenal, but he did a great job. So did everyone in the Leeds team, you know.
Exactly. So are you saying 8, mate?
Nah, yeah, 8.
Okay, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. So that's 3 8s. 3 8s. We've notice how much we all agree when Phil isn't here. Yeah, when Phil isn't here, it's so much easier this because he always has to get his 7.5 in or something like that.
I nearly went 7.5.
Oh, don't do it to me, Steve. Don't do it to me, man.
I would never do that. But I'm like looking at the Crystal Palace Sheffield United game, and I will feel for how I really do, man. Freaking Sheffield United are getting battered.
Yeah, it's it's a shame, isn't it, for Sheffield United? It's a shame that they're going to go down. Hopefully, they do bounce back up just to get Hal back on the channel, for next season. 70% have gone 8 out of 10 for Jack, so we'll give Jack Harrison an 8 out of 10. So last of the starters to rate is Patrick Bamford because he made Alderweireld and Dyer on his own look silly. They dragged them all over the place. Honestly, you could have driven a bus between Alderweireld and Dyer. They were that far separated the way Bamford was playing. Gets himself a goal, 15 for the season. Let's hope he can push towards that 20, get close to 20 if he can. I thought he was absolutely brilliant today, to be honest, Patrick Bamford. They could go 8 out of 10 for Paddy Bamford. What are you saying, Steve, for Patrick?
It's the first time he showed up for 6 games, right? 7 games.
You say? I still think he's played okay. Even though he's not been getting the goals.
I think he's just played out of position. I think he's more of a I don't know, a midfielder than an out-and-out striker.
Okay, a 10, like a number 10, maybe.
I don't know. He's just done nothing to impress me ever.
Really, Patrick.
As a Leeds United player, I mean, I've been following Leeds United for 50 years, and I've seen the strikers that we've had, and we've obliterated teams that scored tons of goals. And I just don't think he's he's just not suited to Leeds United.
Really? I mean, I'm genuinely surprised, Steve. I thought you liked Patrick from.
I do. I like Patrick Bamford as a player, but not in that position. He's too slow. He is
right. Okay.
It's slow to play in that position. He's always a couple of paces behind our wingers. He's just too slow.
Fair enough. I mean, what would you give him out of 10 then today?
Bamford? No, I mean, no, he did okay. I guess a 7.
Okay. Rob, what are you saying on Paddy today?
Oh, I might. It's difficult with Bamford because it's not. I kind of get where Steve's coming from, but I don't think it's necessarily the player. It's what he's asked to do.
Yeah. Okay.
It's what he's asked to do in the side. Bielsa doesn't want a striker up in the box. He doesn't want a Viduka. He doesn't. That's not the player he wants. It's not what he wants him to do. Never has been. And I think that's where, you could say he went missing in the last few games, but did he really get? He got nothing to really go on in the last few games to, But then he turns around and he's frustrated with himself that he hasn't scored because he has had opportunities but they've been few and far between. When he gets them,
he had 2 against Liverpool that he missed.
Yeah, he had 2, but then I suppose if you're only going to get 3 chances a game, the likelihood of you putting them all away or 50% of them away is still difficult, isn't it? It's not the way we play, as Bielsa said before, we need to generate more chances than any other team because of so we have the maximum opportunity to put the ball in the back of the net because we're not playing in a similar to a lot of other teams.
Yeah.
I think he did really well today. I think if they used to have those on Sky, they used to have those cameras where you could pick a player and follow him. I think if you actually had that opportunity to pick and follow him, the cameraman would be worn out because he's left to right, he's front to back, and I think the movement that he does allows us to play the game that we have to play. It allows Harrison to make the runs. It allows it allows those to come through to play that high up because he's taking players away. I think he had probably one of his best games for quite a while today because I don't think he's been tired. He's admitted it himself because he has had hell of a season. But when playing the way he's playing and what he's asked to do, that's always going to be the case. It's always going to be the case. He's going to get periods where he's struggling with fatigue, etc. But I think today he did really well. He got the goal which he needed, and that was a good goal for him to get in the box. Good movement, like you say, he left the defence had holes in all over it, which was ideal for him. But I would give him an 8 today. I would give him an 8 for what he did today. I think because he gets criticised as much as anybody does.
But what about, say we did do well in the league, we progressed to the FA Cup, we sort of like had a decent successful cup run, and maybe we do qualify for Europe, and you're complaining about how tired he is after like the games that we played this season. I just don't like him in that position. It's not that I don't like him as a player. I just think we should get someone better to play in front of him.
And to be honest, I think we will. Not necessarily better, but we are going to add to this team, aren't we? We're going to add to this team. We're playing with a championship team.
But like who?
Rodrigo. I mean, the fact he came on for Bamford today, got himself a goal. Lovely finish as well.
Yeah. I think Rodrigo with a proper pre-season under his belt, he plays better with Rafinha in the side. The two of them play better. He's a better player when Rafinha is playing.
Oh, man, Rafinha's.
And I think to get them in the side on a more regular basis, you're building a team, and people are gonna go. It's as simple as that. We're not gonna, got to be realistic. We're not going to challenge for Europe or getting in. If we're going to carry on as we are, we've got to bring players in. That's a given.
Constantly build, and I think that's what we're going to do. Every
season, we need depth though. We can't just sort of like.
I agree with that, Steve. I mean, look at it last week. I mean, I was having this argument with Phil last week. I think the depth is a big. If Rafinha or Harrison got injured, I don't I don't see the wingers, the backup wingers, as an option. I think Bamford's the same. If Bamford got injured, I'd be concerned. But I will say, Bamford, for me, I think there is a case where you can say, could he have scored more goals this season?
Yep.
Probably, yeah. He probably could have scored more this season. Should he have scored more? I mean, look, he probably should have done. But the fact is, he's got, is it 7 assists as well? He's, in terms of playmaking, he's definitely improved that side of his game.
Enough with assists, mate. That's such a an American stat.
Oh, but yeah, I agree. But he has definitely improved that. He's bringing others into the game a lot more. I think this season
mate,
as well.
That's why I say bring him like back a step, because that guy is a quality midfielder, but he's not I don't think he's a good out and out striker. He's just not strong enough. He's not big enough. He's just he's not. He should be swing bowling for freaking Yorkshire County cricket team or something. He's I just don't rate him.
Fair enough, man. But I still think 15 goals for a newly promoted team is a good return. I know he probably could have had more, but I still think that's a solid return.
Yeah.
The
15 goals in how many games, right? He scored 3 against Villa.
About 1 in 2, I think he's managed so far. It's decent for a newly promoted team for me, though. To be fair, mate, I think he can get more. And I think maybe another striker would.
Then you've got people like Joe and yourself, saying, "Oh, Southgate should pick him from the England team."
I think he should. I genuinely think he should. I mean, Ollie Watkins.
Are you kidding me?
Well, Ollie Watkins over Bamford.
Who do you think that Patrick Bamford should get picked ahead of in the England squad?
In the squads, look, he shouldn't be starting for England. He's not getting ahead of Kane. No one's getting ahead of Kane. But I think there's a case for him being third, fourth choice. Backup option off the bench. He wouldn't even get off the bench, to be honest, because you've got the likes of Calvert-Lewin, etc., Rashford, all these kind of players.
Exactly. So I don't understand why he's in the conversation. And and he's old as well. I mean, he's
he's not that. He's only 27. He's not
27 is old. Old.
Blimey, I feel old now.
Mate, I'm 53. I mean, you know, but Patrick Bamford is old for a football player, and he's gone sort of all these seasons throughout his career, and has not really achieved much. He sat on the bench at Chelsea for 5 years, right? And there's a reason that he didn't get a game for Chelsea in them 5 years, because he wasn't that good.
Well, let's move on. Let's move on. So, Rob's gone 8, Steve's gone 7, and I've got 8, kind of thing. Let's just look at the YouTube poll. Let's look at the YouTube poll. 8 seems to be the most common mark on Patrick Bamford. So we'll give him an 8. I'm not sure Steve will be happy with that, but we'll give him an 8 out of 10. We're only messing, mate. Look, it's opinions. It's a game of opinions. So let's go on to the players off the bench. Now, I think Steve will be more enthusiastic about this man. The next man I'm going to talk about, Rafinha. My word, as Hal said, he's good, isn't he? He's good, isn't he, Steve? He comes off the bench. He just absolutely, the amount of times Tottenham had to foul him just to get near him. He's just, for me, I genuinely think he's our best player. I will go that far. I think Calvin's a very close second. He's just got the magic. The whole team looks better when Rafinha's on there. I think he's the man. He's got that arrogance about him. I just love the man. He's got that fire as well, that South American fire about him. Absolutely love him. Steve, how good was he today when he came on for half an hour?
Mate, I nearly had tears in my eyes when that guy walked on the pitch, mate. I'm like, freaking... Mate, he's just outstanding, and we miss him when he don't play. We miss him. We miss him so much, and he just came on the pitch today, and it's just like, hey, he even gave me a lift, you know. It's a beautiful thing. Sorry, I'm Manchester City, Chelsea on now.
Okay. Well, yeah, we will. So Rafinha, I mean, Rob, I mean, it's just so different, isn't it? The whole, the team's just so different when he's on the pitch. I think Jack Harrison goes up a level, Bamford goes up a level. I think Bamford and Harrison, to be fair, what I will say, I know Steve, it says what he said about Bamford. What I will agree with Steve on is I don't think Bamford and Harrison can carry the team on their own, which is maybe what you want from your forwards.
Exactly.
But I think when they've got Rafinha there, I think their level goes up another 2 or 3. And I still think as a 3...
Exactly, mate. That's what I'm saying. If Rafinha's
but
on...
I think as a 3, they work fantastic. I would not want to swap any of them, to be honest, unless we have a massive cash injection. I want to invest in other parts. I'm happy with that 3 going into next season. What are you saying on Rafinha, Rob?
It's different gravy, isn't he? He just, like you say, he's got that arrogance about him because he knows he's good, and he's also not afraid to show it and have a go. But he has got a nasty side to him. He won't be messed about. You know what I mean?
I love that. I love that though.
He's a proper Leeds player. He's and his work rate's really high for a South American. Don't get me wrong, but from a South American point of view, his work rate is tracking back. He clearly respects the manager he's playing under, from what he said before, and he's only going to get better. That's the frightening thing, and
exactly.
we need to keep hold of him while he's getting better, so we can fully benefit from it. But I mean, just a few of his touches that he did today. He's pushing it around the corner off the side of his foot, and just what he wants to try. You could see as soon as he came on, like you said, not just the ones up the front, the whole team. You could see him lift a little bit because we've got that outlet now. You've got somebody if we can get the ball to him, he's going to make things happen, and he's one of those players that you need. If we were Spurs were coming on to us, do you know what I mean? They were having a few shots in the second half. They were out in and around our box. If you can clear the ball, you can get it up to somebody who's going to turn and take it away from us as a defence in the midfield to give us a break. Then and when he did that, he had an assist for Rodrigo and he put it in the back of the net. So yeah, without him in the side, we're a different side because we don't have the options. We don't have the options going forward without him in the side.
Exactly. I think we keep. I'm hoping we keep him, but I do think there'll be teams like with big budgets who'll be looking at Rafinha. His age as well is the big thing. The fact he's Brazilian. It's gonna be tough to keep him, but I'm hoping we can get it. Yeah. I want to see him in the flesh. I want to just see him at LMO. That's all I want. I just want to see him play. I just want to see. I've got that horrible fear that we might never see him in the. But let's hope he stays. Let's just hope we can keep him. It's going to be a tall order. I think it really is going to be a tall order, but let's hope he's invested in the projects, and I think he is.
I hope so, Oscar. I really hope so.
It'd be so heartbreaking, wouldn't it? We only get a year of the genius, and to be honest, he came in October, so we've not even had a full year of Rafinha. He's been out injured. I'm just thinking how high we could be if Rafinha had signed at the start of the window. I'm thinking those first 4 or 5 games he didn't play. What a player, though. What a player to have in the team. I mean, absolute magician. I think we bought him for 17 mil, I think. I think it was 17 mil. I think we'd get at least 3-4 times the investment back, even if we sold him now. But I'm hoping we're not thinking like that. We're thinking, let's keep this player in our team. Let's push into Europe next season. So
exactly.
I'm going to go 8. I'm going to go an 8 out of 10 for Rafinha. What are you saying, Steve, out of 10?
8, mate.
Okay. Rob?
Yeah, 8.
8. Well, Rafinha always gets high. He always gets high on the Twitter polls, and it is 8 out of 10 on Rafinha. So last player to talk about, Rodrigo Moreno, who, to be honest, I was disappointed with at Brighton last week. He came on, played centre forward, is for me his best position. He's, as I famously always say, he is Spain's number 9 for a reason. Came on today. I thought he stretched the pitch really well. He does offer that. He's got a little bit more speed, I think, than Bamford. He offers a different type of threat. I wouldn't necessarily say he's better than Bamford in terms of suiting this team, but he offers a different threat, and that's the key thing for me that you want from your backup striker, number 10. I thought the way he took the goal, absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I think he was really, really bright when he came on. I'm going to start the ball rolling with an 8. I thought as good as Bamford today in terms of, he played a lot less minutes, but I thought in terms of impact on the game, as good as Bamford, he came on when he needed to, and he made a good impact on it. I mean, Steve, what are you saying on Rodrigo? Are you a bigger fan of Rodrigo than Bamford, mate?
Mate, no.
I'm messing. I'm only messing.
I'm not a fan of Bamford. I just think he's played out of position. And like what you said about Rodrigo is that, like, you're talking about pace.
Yes.
Bamford has not got pace. And it peed me off the other day when Joe was saying, like, oh, Bamford's pace is deceptive. I'm like, how can it be deceptive when you're slower than every other man on the pitch?
I wouldn't say he's... Would you say he's slow, though? I wouldn't say he's particularly slow.
Do you follow the NFL?
Not, but no, I don't. To be fair, but would you say compared to, like, I don't know, I'm thinking of other centre forwards have had, like a Becchio, a Chris Wood. Would you say? I wouldn't say I'd say he's quicker than them, kind of thing. If that makes sense.
No, Ian, no, he's not, and I love him as a player, but he's just not. He's just not a fast player. He's not a quick player. He's like, I was going to compare him to Tom Brady when he played for the New England Patriots. Tom Brady was a phenomenal, like, American football player, but he was slow as. It was horrible to watch him run, and that's how I see Patrick Bamford. When I see him run, he just looks like his. It's bad. I know I'm 53 years old. I can run faster than Patrick Bamford. I can. I'll prove it to you. I will come over there now after COVID and run faster than Patrick Bamford.
I was going to get Justin in. Justin's joined us. He's joined us for the last sort of rating. Justin, how are things, man? How are things, mate?
All right, mate. Sorry I'm late.
Not a problem, man. Not a problem. You've joined us just in time.
I've been having difficulties getting it onto my laptop, to be fair.
Not a problem, man. Good to see you again, mate. Good to see you in happier times, mate. After last week against Brighton when you made your debut, happier times. But talk to me about. We're obviously on to our. Look, I'm not just going to talk about one player for you, mate. I want to hear a bit more from you, man. In terms of who impressed you the most on that pitch today, or was it just completely a team effort? They were all equally good.
No, Alioski, he was awesome today. Robin Koch in Phillips's role, he had a blinder. Melier, brilliant. But pretty much all YouTube polls, I go along with majority of them, really.
Yeah, I mean, they are the players who stood out. I think, obviously, Klich as well, big part for the team. But Rodrigo came on, and I think, obviously, we were all critical of Rodrigo last week, his lack of impacts against Brighton last week. But today he comes on, he's stretching the pitch, the speed. I mean, he gets himself the goal as well. Lovely to see, isn't it, mate? What were your thoughts on Rodrigo today, mate?
Yeah, he wasn't on long enough, really. But, yeah, he was brilliant. He played on opposite side to it like normally plays. But now, spot on. Yeah,
I mean, what would you give him out of 10, mate?
8.
Okay, I've gone an 8 as well. I thought he was as good as Bamford in terms of impact on the game. What are you saying, Rob? I mean, in terms of Rodrigo, what would you have anything to add on that, mate?
I'd just say though, I thought he came on and I thought he actually looked. He looked like he was in the game today, although he wasn't on the pitch for long. Brighton, he just ran around like he was. I don't really know what was going on, but he wasn't anywhere near anything or anybody. And I thought he got in the game playing on that right side. I mean, anything that comes off his left foot, it stands a chance of going in. Because he has got an immense left foot on him. So playing on the right and coming in. He was always going to stand a chance, but he took the goal really, really well. And I think, like you say, he didn't get a pre-season. He's been injured in and out, so he's not really had a run where we can actually see what type of player he actually is. But like you say, you don't get picked to play up front for Spain if you're no good. It doesn't happen.
Exactly.
So, again, we've got, as I say, and if, like you say, we talk about Rafinha, I don't think we'll sell him. I don't think we need to. I don't think they will.
I hope so.
They could have cashed in on Phillips, but he's more important to decide to keep him, and I think they'll think the same about Rafinha. And I think Rafinha and Rodrigo together next season, if they can get a run together, will be exciting to watch because they do play well together. They play well off each other. So I would go 8 for Rodrigo today. I thought he did okay, but he did well.
And what are you saying, Steve? You going the same, mate?
Yes, mate. Yeah.
Love that. So that's 4 8 out of 10s for Rodrigo. Just go to our YouTube poll. 69% have gone 8 out of 10 for Rodrigo. So that's a pretty conclusive 8. Loads of 8s today. No one's dropped below a 7. Lovely to see. Click and Cock both got 9 out of 10s overall. Absolutely fantastic to see. But Justin, mate, I want to talk to you a little bit more before we go off on this one, because it's been a fantastic player rating to do. Can't thank you guys enough for joining us, and Ethan, of course, earlier on in the video. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. But Justin, I'll ask you the question now. Joe's being negative. He said top 8 European Conference, that's gone. I think we can win the next 3 games. I seriously do think we can win the next 3 games and put the pressure on for getting into that European place. We're 4 points off it at the minute. Do you think we can do it, mate? Do you think it's still on?
My European
No,
drum,
Steve, it is on. It is on, Steve. We can do it. We can do it.
As my European drum has moved from living room to the bottom of the attic stairs, but it's still out there.
Yes,
If we'd have won last week and then taken them points from Spurs today, then that European drum would have been in back garden now in October, giving it boom, 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 boom. But yeah,
Let's be happy with the
games.
fact that we stayed in the freaking league.
Yeah, of course.
Mate, the fact that we stayed mid-table is like a fantastic accomplishment.
I think we've moved on from just staying in middle table. I think we need to be up there.
We will, though. I think we will. Next season, I think we're going to find that bit more consistency. We're going to add into a bit more quality, a bit more depth, as we've obviously said throughout the season. But we could lose the next 3 games, 3-0, 4-0. Lose the next 3. We're not going to, but we could lose the next 3. I'd still say it's been a fantastic season. I still say that.
Then we dropped down to 12th, 13th, and then
that's still good. That's still a really good season. Yeah, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, but if we do, then who the F is going to want to play for Leeds United when we're like that far down the table?
But we won't, though. We'll finish higher. We're going to win the next 3, Steve. You know it. Bamford hat trick next week. You know it's coming.
You youngsters kill me because you don't understand finance. It's like, where are we going to get these players from? Who's going to want to play for us?
We got Rafinha. We got Rafinha in. Why
Steve,
can't we attract?
It's 17 million.
But Steve, look at us in the Championship. We're getting all these players then. Now we're in Premier League.
Oh, mate, who could we get off the relegated teams? I mean, who would you sort of like suggest out? Teams that have gone down that like be beneficial to Leeds United? That's something I want to ask Oscar and Joe.
Well, I think the one, look, I don't think there's a lot. I think this season the teams that have gone down have been poor, but I like Pereira, to be honest, from West Brom. I liked him in the Championship. I think he's still young as well. I wouldn't mind him in the Bielsa team. I think he's got a lot of potential about him, but I think he wouldn't be my first choice. I don't think anyone from the relegated teams. There's a reason they went down, mate. There's a reason those teams went down, because they ultimately haven't been good enough. But I'm not sure we'll target them kind of players. I think we're going to look to the European market. You know, the French league obviously picks up 2 good players from the French league. La Liga, we picked up Rodrigo from. Bundesliga, Robin Koch. You know, I think we're using the European markets now. It's better value. I think it's much better value than England in terms of these kind of players. And I trust Victor Orta. Honestly, I trust Victor Orta with my life, to be honest, in terms of the quality. Like Melier for 5 million. Rafinha 17, Robin Koch 13, Llorente. They're all under 20 million, these players. And you're thinking, if we sold them tomorrow, we'd want 30 million for some of these players, 40 million, 50 million. And that is all down to Victor Orta for me. I honestly, I'd back him to seriously build this team. I mean, Justin, would you say the same, mate?
Yeah, pretty much. I think we'll probably end up signing people who are big UK household names. And then they're coming like blockbusting players that we've never probably really seen.
Yeah. And that's what's happened this season.
Yeah.
We're due to earn get. I guess if we finish mid-table, then we get like 150 million from the league. I just couldn't. I can't imagine who to spend that on. Where will we put that money? You know, don't know if there's anyone good enough, or sort of like anyone that that is actually good enough that would want to come to Leeds. Have you ever lived in Leeds? It's like, I don't know.
Well, Leeds, I think they'd love to live in Leeds. Leeds is one of the best cities in the UK.
Me, I lived there for a long time, mate. So
I don't think that's a problem. I know obviously there's like a lot of the foreign players these days they want to live in London and that lot, but I think in terms of outside the top six, these supposed big six clubs, I think Leeds is one of the most attractive places to go to at the minute in terms of Bielsa, the players that are already in the team, the way we play. I seriously don't think we're going to have a problem attracting players. We won't be able to. We're not going to sign Neymar. We're not going to sign Mbappe or Gareth Bale or these kind of Salah. We're not going to get that kind of calibre of player. But we are going to. I seriously think we're going to scout players that are of high quality and probably young players as well. It seems to be we're only signing players kind of under 25 at the minute, but I seriously do. I mean, guys in the comments, let us know what you think. I mean, I think we'll leave it there anyway, guys. But Justin, great to see you again, mate. I mean,
cheers, mate.
What are you saying then? What are you saying in terms of in the summer? A bit more of a future question, looking into the future. You can strengthen the team in 3 areas, 3 specific positions. Which 3 do you go for?
Left back,
Okay.
Striker, and I was thinking for someone to fill Phillips's boots when he's not available. But after today, I think we've found that. Wicklow.
I do. I agree. I think we've all said that. Yeah, I think in terms of the way he played today, I think we've got 4 centre backs, 4 really good centre backs, and one of them can play holding midfield. I mean, I totally agree, mate. I totally agree on that. I mean, what other position would you think then? Left back, centre forward?
Left back, centre forward, yeah.
No, you wouldn't strengthen anywhere else?
No, I'm quite happy with what we've got.
I think there's a case for that, though, in terms of keeping the continuity about it. You know, if players come back from injury, the only thing I would say is goalkeeper, because the thought of Kiko Garcia having to come in for any time next season now is enough to it's enough to do anyone in, isn't it? To be fair, in terms of that, in terms of the way he's played recently,
and his amount of money we're paying him as well.
Yeah, exactly.
For playing for under 23s and just sat watching games. And
offering nothing.
It's criminal.
Offering nothing overall. But anyway, guys, I think we'll leave it there. Big thanks to Justin again for jumping on. I'm glad we've been able to speak in happier times after that Brighton game. We were all down after that game, but Legend's coming back on. Steve, you absolute legend, mate, from Rhode Island. Cheers for coming on, mate. And Rob is just joining us again. Rob, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I don't know if Rob can hear us. Can Rob hear us? Rob, thanks so much for coming on as well, mate.
No problem.
Hear us there, mate. But we will leave it there anyway, guys. Big thanks to Rob. Big thanks to Stephen. Big thanks to Justin. I'll just let them go now. But thanks so much, lads, for coming on. Hopefully, you'll come on again next week after we batter Burnley. And the top 6, top 7 hunt is on. We'll leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for coming on, guys. And we will see you guys later. See you later, guys. And but guys, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't done already. And we will be back with everything. We'll obviously check out our post-match reaction and keep it locked, guys. All Leeds TV. We will see you later, guys. I'm just going to play the music. Hang on a second, guys. See you later, guys.
We'll be right back.